going on, everyone? GT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. This series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it. And today is a hot day for Leeds United transfer news. It is coming into the last week of the transfer window, and Leeds are finally starting to pick some things up. Some business seems like it is on the horizon. Ramazani coming in yesterday, and there are a lot of new stories to talk about. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into today's news. The first story that we are going to be touching on here is surrounding Chris Wilder, who has come out with a couple of fresh jabs at Leeds United after Jayden Bogle's transfer earlier on in the window. Obviously, he came out with a bit of a furious interview, which was mocked online, and has come out again, basically very, very annoyed at Leeds' low-balling offer for Jayden Bogle, despite the fact that is kind of how clubs operate in this kind of window. So, a little bit of sour grapes coming out of our Chris Wilder over there. Now, in other news, Leeds United are reportedly expected to pay over the odds to wrap up our next two signings after the Ramazani deal done. This is coming out of David Norris's mouth, who predicts that Leeds United will have to overspend on another signing or two in the coming days to make further incomings. Norris is one of many who fear Leeds will be held to ransom over transfers, and the reason I bring this to you is to basically inquire on your opinion of such. For me, I believe that is 100% correct, and that Leeds United are in a position which the 49ers are finding out, where when you are the biggest club in the league, when you are one of the biggest clubs in England, you are going to be forced to overspend because clubs will know that you have a lot of money, especially when they look at the fact that you made £140 million worth of transfer fees, which is probably why we haven't necessarily been going so big for the names like Jack Clark and Jonathan Rowe like people would have expected, because we're going to be charged a lot more for these bigger names, and that's probably why Ipswich were able to get the deal done for around 20 million for Jack Clark. Leeds would have probably had to pay slightly more, just because we're Leeds United. You do have to pay that kind of a premium. So maybe tamper expectations when it comes to certain players signing. Now, one player in which expectations might not have to be tampered for is Roland Sallai. This is the big man on the name of everybody's lips when it comes to Leeds United after another unexpected turn from Freiberg. And it does seem like that he is ready to depart this week. We were speaking about it yesterday, and stories have only strengthened that coming into today. Sallai was first revealed as a possible target for Leeds on Wednesday, with a previously unattainable target now becoming a tangible possibility late into the window. The 26-year-old is in the final 12 months of his contract and could be moved on. These stories obviously come after the fact that they have been looking to replace him because of the fact he's coming into the last 12 months of his contract, and if they are to replace him, they have to sell in order to bring in. This is Freiberg, of course, within question. Now, the main question around him is he going to want to come into the Championship? Obviously, playing in Euro 2024 for Hungary, coming out of the Bundesliga. Is he going to want to take that step down? That is the question that needs to be answered. But with just a week left in the transfer window, it does seem like this move is kind of being taken out of his hands. He was left out of the squad that played in the DFB Pokal for them. And it does seem like he is kind of being pushed away. And with only 7 days left, as I just said, there aren't too many places for him to go. And Leeds are seen as the keenest admirers of him and the most likely destination as of yet. Now, this is yet to be confirmed. And obviously, if you believe what we were just talking about a second ago, that we are going to overspend on players, it does seem like they would be kind of happy to let him go to Leeds United, because we would probably pay a premium of around £7 million to £10 million, which in my opinion is very much worth it. And I don't know why we're doing everything on the cheap so much, considering how much we've brought in through transfer fees this summer. PSR cannot be that much of an issue, especially when you consider the fact that we got an extra £60 million investment from Red Bull, and we're yet to even spend that in the transfer window. And that's not even considering the money we've made from transfer fees. But Let me know what you guys think about this one. Obviously, he can play on the right-hand side of the pitch. He can kind of play in that second striker and number 10 role. Is not necessarily a like-for-like number 10 replacement that a lot of us would be looking for. I'd still like us to go out and get someone that main bread and butter is just creating chances and breaking down the back line, as well as a Sallai, and maybe that could potentially lean into rumours that we might be losing Wilfried Gnonto. But the way things are going, I feel like there is going to be another sneaky name that no one is quite thinking of. Speaking of midfielders, though, this is the big transfer saga of the day. Now, as you woke up, you saw a lot of people, Peter O'Rourke being one of them, Mr. Transfer Correspondent himself, talking about Dejan Ljubicic. We've spoken about him for the past 4 or 5 days, and if you woke up reading the news, you'd have thought he was coming all the way to Leeds United. As this story states, £7 million Leeds United offer set to be accepted by sources. Obviously, we came in with a £4 million move, the €4 million, £4 million deal, which was rejected. And then you start seeing stories of Leeds United potentially overpaying for players. And then you see stories of Leeds United going for a £7 million signing. So when you woke up, it did seem like this deal was very, very likely to happen. Leeds United very keen to bring in another midfielder amidst Archie Gray and Glenn Kamara leaving. A lot of people not very happy with just Joe Rothwell coming in, which I can completely understand. I don't think that's necessarily a like-for-like Kamara replacement. So Ljubicic could have been one. Now, you then read other stories coming out just hours later that Leeds United have pulled out of the transfer poker saga as there are anger at agents. The Whites are being asked to double what they offered, which is just ludicrous for the caliber of player that we are trying to get. Dejan Ljubicic had been keen on leaving Cologne for Leeds United this summer. Bild reported that the player definitely wanted to go to Ellen Road. However, earlier today, the same outlet reported that the 26-year-old had Leeds on his mind, and it was also stated that the Whites could increase their offer after their €4 million bid was rejected, which we just spoke about with that £7 million bid. However, hours later, a fresh report stated that Leeds United had ended their interest within the Austrian international. This is then being spoken again more later on, as this is turned into a bit of a sticky, explosive drama. Anger at agents, anger at the fact that Ljubicic had tried to be forcing a move over to Leeds United. Cologne are stated to be furious at Leeds United after they conclude their bid to sign Dejan Ljubicic, apparently basically unsettling the player, causing rifts between him and the club, kind of echoing a similar sentiment to what Chris Wilder was saying about Jayden Bogle. Now, I have a sneaky suspicion that this deal is not over yet. I have a sneaky suspicion that we've upset the player, we've upset the club. The club are furious. They don't want to sell to Leeds United. But as the days come on, as we get closer to the end of the transfer window, I think Leeds are starting to play a little bit hardball. And I think we're going to try and sneak the deal for a £5 to £6 million bid. Now, listen, this could be complete speculation. It goes against everything that is being said. But I feel like this could be some sneaky underhanded tactics from the 49ers to potentially get him. Obviously, this is complete speculation on my behalf. And as things stand, Leeds have ended their interest in Dejan Ljubicic. But please let me know what you guys think about that one down in the comment section down below. Now, in other news, Wober is in doubt for today's match against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillborough. The 26-year-old is only featured in one of Leeds' games across all competitions, and he was woeful. Let's just say that. He was not Wober, he was woeful. That was a very terrible pun. I do apologise, but he was terrible, and I don't think it's really going to come to much dismay from Leeds United fans that he is potentially out of the picking for Sheffield Wednesday, because his head does not seem to be there. And it does seem like Leeds could potentially be looking elsewhere and looking to potentially offload him, just because he is not focused at Leeds United at present, as it seems. Now, apologies. Leeds United are apparently looking for that defender we were just talking about, and we are readying a move for a Premier League defender that we came within hours of signing 12 months ago. This is coming in the fullback position, which is one of 3 positions Leeds United are keen to address in the last 7 days of the transfer window, and I'm in agreement with a lot of you guys that we need a backup left back. Jayden Bogle and Junior Firpo are both very much first choice right now, but have an history of injury problems, and Sam Byram, who is our right back backup, he has also got a severe history of injury problems. And there you go, it goes on to say apologies, gents. Goes on to say it there. Now, links to Wolves' Hugo Bueno would suggest that Leeds United are looking at a left back. Although Byram's ability to cover both sides, disagree with that one, means it does not really matter what side the new signing prefers playing on. Disagree with that one again. We definitely need one. Now, Leeds United are apparently plotting a move for Bournemouth's Max Aarons. Obviously, we came very close to signing him from Norwich last transfer window, and then Bournemouth kind of snipped him from under our fingers. Daniel Farr committed after the draw at West Brom. Jayden Bogle has not had an easy start to life at Leeds, but as a £5 million signing, he won't be getting dropped anytime soon. He remains a top player at this level. Obviously has question marks over his defensive ability though, although Leeds, according to Pete O'Rourke, are now plotting a surprise move for Max Aarons, which I think would come to a lot of, or would rather put a lot of smiles on a lot of Leeds United faces. Just finally, Leeds United are still scared about potentially losing Wilfried Gnonto. The saga of Gnonto carries on, rolling on, and we are yet to know whether he will leave. A lot of you guys I spoke to yesterday, I spoke to a lot of you Leeds fans out there who were telling me that you still feel like Gnonto is going to leave and that we need to bring 3 or 4 players in. But if that is going to be the case, we're going to need to start bringing them in soon. I personally don't see a world in which we lose our 4 best valued players in the same transfer window. I just don't see it personally. I think the club weren't expecting to lose Rutter, and because we have, I can't see us losing Gnonto, but maybe I'm completely off on this one. And if we are to lose him, we definitely need to bring in another couple of wingers before letting go of Gnonto. We can't afford to sell him and then try and use that money to spend. We already have the money to spend. We need to spend that and then try and offload him after, which I don't think would be too hard to do if we were looking to, because it does seem like he is keen on the move away. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about all of these news stories down in the comment section down below. For now, guys, though, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.